So hi everybody and welcome back to church. Got really exciting news that we are starting services again in person on the 11th of October, and we're going to show you around in a few minutes. Becky will give you a tour, but just so you know, we're going to have a service at 10:30 and we're going to have a second service at 11:45, and we'll need you to book in and we'll tell you more how you can do that soon. But here we are, welcome back, and over to Becky to tell you more that you need to know.
So when you first come to church on a Sunday morning, there will be a lovely steward who'll be waiting for you in the foyer. You can scan the QR code to check in, but if you haven't got the app, then you can sign in and we'll take your details. So when the steward has signed you in, they'll direct you into the main room, and you can find some handy sanitizer right here to make sure that we're all clean, and then the steward will direct you to one of the seats. So when we've seated you, you'll see all the different seating arrangements around here. We ask you to stay in your seated area just so that we can keep the social distance. As you can see, they're in 2 meters apart, which actually is quite a big space. And if you're coming on your own, then we will seat you in a 2 like this one here. That's just so that we can fit as many people in, but you'll have a chair to keep you company. And don't worry, we're not going to put someone right next to you. And so we hope that that will be a good experience for you. So when you come to church, we ask that you wear a face shield or a face mask, just so we respect each other and we wear them. But if you are medically exempt, then please feel free to come without a mask. We're not going to challenge you, but we want to respect you in that sense as well. We're going to make sure that there will be windows open to give us good circulation in the room. But of course it's getting to winter, so if you feel the cold, then maybe you should bring a nice warm coat like this one. And then I'll be ready to listen to the sermon. Our services are only going to be 45 minutes long, so hopefully you won't need the loo. But if you do, we've got some lovely new facilities. We've got 2 new cubicles and 1 that's still on its way. There will be a steward that will be able to advise you whether it's good for you to come up. As you can see, it's a bit narrow, so we're asking only 2 people to come up at a time. I think a lot of you will be wondering how is worship going to look when we can't sing. I just want to really encourage you that we can still worship God in many different ways. I heard a really great metaphor recently about when a student is learning to play chess. The master of the chess would say to the student, we're going to remove the queen from play and you need to learn to play with all the other pieces before we add the queen back in. So when you think about it for worship, the queen is our singing. When we sing worship, when we use our voices. But when the queen is taken away, we have to learn to use the other pieces that God has given us. He's given us a body. He's given us a voice that can pray and intercede for people. He's given us hands that can worship Him and raise up. He's given us legs so we can bow and kneel before Him. There are many other ways that we can worship. And the important thing to remember is when you think of chess, that actually the whole point of chess is to get to the king. And when we worship, we are here to come before the King of Kings, and we can learn to use all that God has given us. So I want to encourage you when you come to worship. I know it will be difficult for some of us not to sing. I love to sing, I love to worship, but I know that I can sing and worship in that way at home, but there are many other ways that we can worship together. So when we do come to do some worship, we'll help you, we'll lead you through, we'll suggest things that you can do and how you can pray. And we hope that, and I know that when we come together, we will really feel God's presence.
So we hope that you're really excited at the prospect of coming back to church, and we're really excited at the prospect of welcoming you and worshipping together. It's going to be so great. So our first service is going to be really special, and we want to take time to reconsecrate ourselves to God. Now, if you consecrate something to God, it means you set it aside as a holy thing. And so what we're asking you to do is to offer yourself again to God as a person, a vessel that he can use for his honour and for his glory and for his name's sake. And we're not just reconsecrating ourselves, we want to reconsecrate this building, we want to reconsecrate our church and the work of our church. And so in order to do that, part of what we're asking you to do is to make a special offering, a love offering or a gift offering, a financial offering that you can bring something to God which is over and above what you normally give, but just says, we believe in this church, we want to believe in the work of this church, we want to see this church prosper, we want to see it become all that God has for it. So please prayerfully ask the Lord, what would you like me to bring on that first Sunday back? And I think really we're just loving the fact we can be back and really looking forward to welcoming you. So look forward to seeing you all with all those things in mind on the 11th of October. So God bless you all.